For decades, relations between the United States and Saudi Arabia have been at the core of global geopolitics because of Saudi Arabia's vast oil reserves. And for many years, USA had its dependence on Saudi oil and was the cornerstone of their alliance. But lately, its dynamics have shifted drastically. Right now, we have about 45 days left of oil reserves, and those reserves were replenished by the Trump administration and are at its lowest level since 1986 right now. Now, the Biden administration just has stated that it will be refilling these reserves again at higher prices, obviously. Now, Americans are going to feel the pain at the pump this winter, that's for sure. Now, the relationship between the US and Saudi Arabia began to form during the mid-20th century when American geologists discovered vast oil reserves in Saudi Arabia in 1938, leading to the establishment of Aramco. This event signaled an enduring partnership. Now, throughout World War II and the Cold War, Saudi Arabian oil became an essential pillar of American strategy, and it provided an important source of energy, lessening dependence on other oil-rich regions, which offered protection and support from then what was the world's most powerful nation. Now, recently, global energy landscape has undergone a dramatic transformation. Concerns over climate change, air pollution, fossil fuel depletion has propelled nations such as the US to pressure cleaner and more sustainable sources of power generation. Now, renewable energy technologies like solar and wind power have experienced explosive growth over the past several years. Electric vehicles have also become more mainstream, promising to reduce gasoline usage, both developing impacting American oil dependency. Now, geopolitical complexities, which has the relationship between the United States and Saudi Arabia, go far beyond economic considerations. Geopolitical considerations also play a crucial role in its relations. Now, with its volatile politics and rich oil reserves, the Middle East has long been at the core of American foreign policy. Now, geopolitical terrain has grown increasingly complex over time. USA involvement in regional conflicts, shifting alliances, and human rights issues have complicated matters further, such as following Jamal Khashoggi's murder, resulting in international outrage and demands to reconsider a partnership agreement between both countries. Now, the economic consequences of oil and economic effects extend well beyond its price, impacting daily lives of Americans and the wider economy alike. Price fluctuations triggered by geopolitical tensions or fluctuations in supply can directly impact consumers at gas stations as well as businesses that rely on such stable energy costs. Now, higher prices can contribute to inflation, as it is now, diminishing consumer purchasing power. Furthermore, industries heavily reliant on petroleum, like transportation, manufacturing, they may experience increased operational costs when oil prices spike drastically. The national security and energy independence are closely linked. Now, to safeguard its energy interests, the U.S. has long maintained a military presence in the Middle East to protect a steady supply of oil without price spikes. But reducing dependence on foreign oil has long been seen as a strategic objective, as doing so may reduce military involvement in certain regions. Yet, attaining energy independence remains an arduous and complicated pursuit. Now, solutions addressing America's oil issues with Saudi Arabia will require taking an integrating approach, and here are some potential solutions. We can invest in renewable energy as we are right now, and in expanding investments in sources like solar, wind, hydropower, and support research and development into energy storage technologies to make renewable sources more dependable. Promoting research into improving their reliability can reduce oil consumption but not eliminate it. This is a huge debate that we could talk about in another video. Also, electrifying transportation. All of these expanding efforts towards electrifying vehicle adoption and infrastructure development incentivizes consumers to switch over, which still neither here nor there, because we see a lot of difficult adoption problems that are occurring right now across the globe, especially in the United States. We have diversifying energy sources and your energy portfolio. It could help mitigate supply disruptions by diversifying nuclear, natural gas, and biofuel sources in particular. Your investments can become more robust against these disruptions. Now, the energy efficiency, implementing energy saving measures across industries, building and transportation in order to reduce overall energy consumptions and costs. Establish and maintain open lines of communications with Saudi Arabia and other major oil producing nations to maintain stable energy markets and encourage global cooperation on energy and climate issues. As we saw in the previous administration, we had better relations than now with the present U.S. presidential administration and Saudi Arabia. Now, these strategic reserves, we need to continue building and maintaining strategic petroleum reserves as an insurance against sudden oil supply disruptions, like we did in the Trump administration. But right now, we're going to be paying double the amount of money to refill these oil reserves. Now, renewable energy plays an important role because it helps the United States address its oil dependency from Saudi Arabia. And these renewable resources have not become cost competitive with fossil fuels. And if done right, they can provide significant supplement to America's energy needs, not replacing them 100%. And also, by electrifying transportation, we can help decrease gasoline demand and imports. Government incentives and expanding charging infrastructure and conducting battery research are crucial elements to encouraging their adoption. We are far off from this actually changing the U.S. oil addiction. Now, diplomacy also remains an effective means to addressing this complex problem as well, and an open dialogue between the United States and Saudi Arabia can help bridge differences, ease geopolitical tensions, and create a more stable energy partnership. Maintaining diplomatic ties is vital in order to guarantee reliable oil supplies while mitigating price volatility in global energy markets. The Biden administration does not seem to be helping this situation at all. Now, the U.S. oil issues with Saudi Arabia is part of an overall global energy puzzle, and each nation's decision regarding energy can have far-reaching repercussions worldwide. As this global community responds to climate change, transitioning to other cleaner energy sources becomes ever more pressing, and collaborations across borders is critical in meeting climate challenges and assuming energy security for all nations. International cooperation in areas like emission reduction and renewable energy development is paramount to creating an energy future that lasts and is sustainable. Whether or not this is accomplished, it'll be interesting to see how it develops through the present geopolitical climate. Now, if you like this video, check this next video out right here.